2 months ago, Primoz Roglic abandoned the Tour of the Basque Country after suffering his second crash in 2 consecutive days. The same crash that prevented him from participating in the Ardennes Classics and facing his compatriot of the Saunier Duval team at Liège. The skier has kept a low profile during these 2 months, but of course he has not stopped training or following the progress of some of his teammates, such as Ante Pogačar-Lipovic or Daddy Martinez. Roglic knows perfectly well that, led by the doper Rolf Aldag, he can revolutionize the Bora team with Red Bull and ketones. But let's be realistic, he is facing his last chance to try to win the Tour de France. So right now, I want you to leave in the comments which position you think this winner of 4 Grand Tours will finish this year's Tour. Also, if you want to know why you can call him doped without any problem at all, pay attention, because today's show is going to delight you. After the performance shown against the Danish anchovy and focusing Evenepoel in an Itzulia he seemed to have in the palm of his hand, it's hard to not think of this 34-year-old as a main candidate to win the Criterium Dauphine 2024, alongside Carlos Rodriguez, Juan Ayuso, or the Belgian Pizza Hut delivery boy. It's true that Roglic has had to overcome a slightly shaky start in the Bora German setup, a team where he was ripped off even by his own teammates, as exampled by Mr. I Have No Nationality Alexander Vlasov, who after passing through the stable of Giovan Battista Iera's motorized bike squad, is still able to say that he is much stronger than Roglic for the big events this season. But it's also true that the former doped teammate of German snow lover and friend of the channel Bjarne Riis has given his star signing for this season all kinds of facilities, following a stealth preparation, one which ensures he will not be envious when studying the preparation of his top rivals for this year's Tour de France. In reality, he's following a mixture of those that the Danish anchovy and the Slovenian alien are going to perform on their way to the Grand Boucle. Just 2 weeks after his crash and several training sessions at home, Rolf Aldag played Mr. Miyagi to his young Slovenian ward, warning him that he should now abandon his wife and his larvae in order to arrive at the Tour de France in full force. Roglic duly abandoned his work as a pram pusher, leaving the stroller behind and beginning to pedal as if there were no tomorrow in one of the fetish places of dopers of the past, like low-cost Lance or Alberto Contretrol, the mythical slopes of Teide, the popular Spanish volcano. After winning up to 3 red jerseys as the conqueror of multiple Vuelta a España, Roglic knows firsthand that in the Iberian Peninsula, the most important thing is to get results and doping is secondary. So after spending his first cycle between Canary Island beaches and altitude in the hotels where Roberto Heras doped in his epocha of US Postal, he then decided to train in the trendy place for athletes around the world. Yes, you guessed it, the High Performance Center of Sierra Nevada in Granada. The place where riders combine the natural altitude of the area at more than 2,000 meters above sea level with the fictitious feeling of being at 3 or even 4,000 meters above sea level, all thanks to its popular hypoxic rooms. Like his compatriot Poggi, the skier spent 3 weeks during the month of May mixing this type of training and then greeting his former Rabobank teammates. For it was the Dutch squad who've been taking this Slovenian monster to this centre ever since he mutated into a guy capable of winning a Grand Tour 7 years ago. In other words, Roglic has done everything possible to arrive at the Criterium Dauphine full of energy and with his batteries recharged, and all this despite his serious injury in the Basque Country. He's followed exactly the same plan that the Slovenian from Saunier Duval followed during March and April to arrive fresh at the Giro d'Italia. But the big difference is that one of Roglic's biggest rivals at the Dauphiné, focusing Evenepoel, has also gone to this high-performance centre, the one that seems to have the Holy Grail inside. But what about Roglic himself? How is he taking this season in his new team, sponsored by a company that manufactures taurine by the tin? Surprisingly, it seems that the skier is very calm, after obtaining a salary that he sees to be in line with his level. And he insists that he has no problems with two of the aspects that most worry riders today. The first being kilos. And although he usually competes with a weight of around 65 kilos, he insists he's not obsessed with having a few extra. Although he admits that one of his problems at Paris-Nice, with that spectacular last-stage wreckage, was arriving with a weight of 70 kilos, 5 more than the usual weight of our lover of ketone gels. This relaxed and renewed Roglic doesn't seem to care about one of the aspects made fashionable by Dr. Michele Ferrari some 30 years ago, the infamous watts per kilo ratio. He believes that there are many cyclists, including some of his teammates, who are obsessed with this aspect above all else, and yet he doesn't give it that much importance. He is interested in speed. He literally said, if you generate a lot of watts but someone else is going faster than you, it's no use. The potentiometer for me is a device I hardly look at while racing. This is curious, since Primoz has always been accused of being a robotic pedalist, one who always used to attack in his favoured near-finish distance, leaving his rivals with no chance of victory. But the reality, it seems, is quite different, and Roglic is one of the riders least concerned with power data. However, the most surprising thing about the Slovenian's recent statements is that he doesn't mind being called a doped rider. Now, we're not going to do it because we're consistent with our words. But you can fill in the comments right now saying that he's a dirty doper simply for beating other historical dopers like Coconut Oil Lopez or Pete Valverde. And you can do it because Roglic is never going to sue or even denounce you, since he has admitted that he is totally distanced from what is said about him in the media in all its forms. Every day he's less and less interested in what people think about him, and he doesn't waste time looking at what's been said about his performance. We understand, Primoz. You have a family to take care of. You have many cans of Red Bull to drink. Oh, and you've got Vlasov saying that he's the team leader. And then you've got everyone reminding you that you lost a Tour de France on the last day. And then people are criticising you for not smiling or not fooling around in front of the cameras like your compatriot Tadej. Really, you don't have time to worry about what they say about you, do you? After all, the most important thing is that you already have 4.5 million euros in your pocket. And that's every year. But you know what the worst thing of all is? That's still less than what the White Kenyan earns.